Greetings everyone, and welcome to my coin collection. Today's coins are an annual set released by the Vatican City in 1978. Now, 1978 was a fascinating year for the Vatican because, among other things, during this year they had two separate Vatican conclaves, the meetings held to elect a new pope, meaning that 1978 was what is known as a year of three popes. As the year began, Pope Paul VI was coming up on 16 years as Pope, having been elected in 1963, which is why on the packaging, next to the MCM LXXV111, it says Anno XVI. At the end of the previous year, he had received treatment for an enlarged prostate. On March 16th, the former Italian Prime Minister and a friend of the Pope's from his days as a student, Aldo Moro, was kidnapped by the Red Brigade. Despite the Pope's pleas on his behalf, Moro's bullet-riddled body was found in a car in Rome on May 9th. Then, on August 6th, Pope Paul had a massive heart attack in Castel Gandolfo and passed away. The cardinal electors assembled in Rome between the 25th and 26th of August and elected Cardinal Albino Luciani, Patriarch of Venice, as the new pope on the fourth ballot. He accepted the election and took the name of John Paul. Then, on September 28th, just 33 days after his election, Pope John Paul died suddenly. Because there were contradictory reports about the circumstances of his death, and seeming anomalies about the issuing of the death certificate and other procedures, several conspiracy theories have gained currency, including a number that claim he was murdered. Consequently, the year's second conclave was held between the 14th and 16th of October. After 8 ballots, this time, the cardinal electors selected Cardinal Karol Józef Wojtyła, Archbishop of Krakow, as the new pope. He became known as John Paul II and was to be pope for the next 27 years. A year of three popes is not particularly common. In nearly 2,000 years, there have only been 13 times in which exactly 3 popes have held office in a given calendar year. The most recent year of 3 popes prior to 1978 was in 1605, 373 years earlier, and the pope at the end of it was the previous pope called Paul V. Back in 1276, there was actually a year of 4 popes. So 1978 was an historic year, and is one of the things that makes these coins particularly interesting. Another thing that makes these coins interesting is that before the euro, the currency used by the Vatican was the lira. The 1929 Lateran Treaty, which established the state of the Vatican City, required a distinct coinage denominated in centesimi and lira, equal to the Italian lira. The Vatican coins were minted in Rome and were also legal tender in Italy and San Marino, just as Italian lira was legal tender in the Vatican. Because of inflation, the centesimi were last minted in 1946. Further inflation meant that 1978 was the first year without a 1 or 2 lira coin, with the 5 being the smallest, and this was the final year in which it was minted. Another interesting feature is that, unlike today, where the regular circulating coins retained standard designs, the coins of the Vatican had frequent design changes. These were the 8th different set of designs during Paul's term as Pope. Under his successor, the design changed every year up until the adoption of the euro in 2002. The Vatican had been issuing coins using Roman numerals ever since 1967. The obverse of each of the coins features the same pattern, the coat of arms of Pope Paul VI. The decorative parts of the arms, the cross keys and tiara, a domed crown in this case, are a symbol of the papacy and are present in every papal coat of arms. If the coin was coloured, the shield would be red, with 3 golden fleur-de-lis across the top. Down at the bottom are 6 white arches set together to form a mountain. This is because the surname of Giovanni Montini, which was the Pope's name before he became Pope, means mountain or coming from the mountain. Around the rim of each coin are the words Paulus VIPM for Pontifex Maximus, Greatest Priest, A for Anno, the year, XVI MCM LXX VIII. The reverses of each of the coins reference passages from the Gospels. On the 5 lire, we see a woman carrying a lamp, a reference to the parable of the 10 virgins. She is between the L for lira and the number 5. At the bottom it says Città del Vaticano, as it does on all the coins, and we can also see signatures for both the sculptor and the engraver. On the 10 lire, we see a woman kneeling, referencing the faith of the Canaanite woman who came to see Jesus in Matthew 15:21-28. This time the L and the 10 are down at the base of the coin, as is the name of the country. The engraver and sculptor's names are in front of the woman and behind her head. The prodigal son returning to his father is represented on the 20 lire coin. Once again, the value of the coin and the Vatican City name are below the figures. On the 50 lire coin, we see a small child walking toward Jesus, representing the time when he told the disciples that unless they became like little children, they would not enter the kingdom of heaven. This time, the sculptor's name is behind the child, while the engraver's is at the very bottom of the coin, beneath the value and country. A representation of Jesus' teaching in the temple can be seen on the 100 lire coin. Near the end of his life, when in Jerusalem, he was said to teach there by day and sleep on the Mount of Olives at night. The Sermon on the Mount is indicated on the 200 lire coin. Down at the bottom are the value of the coin and the name of the country. Finally, on the 500 lire coin, we get a reference back to the beginning of Jesus' ministry, when he called his first 2 disciples. Jesus is seen here calling to 2 men in a boat. This time, the sculptor and engraver's names are just beneath the water. This is an interesting set of coins, made more interesting by the history of the year in which they were released. Of course, we only found out later that the first conclave in 1978 was the first since 1721 in which 3 future popes participated: John Paul I, John Paul II, and Benedict XVI. And it was the first since 1829 in which 2 had done so. I hope you've enjoyed looking at them with me. If you have, perhaps you would like my video and leave a comment down below. You might also consider subscribing to my channel, so that you do not miss any of the upcoming coins in my collection.